When you're hunting for a job, it can be a great feeling being called up and offered a position with decent salary attached. Sometimes it pays to be on your guard, because an undercover investigation for Inside Out London has exposed a sophisticated employment scam where candidates are offered positions in non-existent companies. A scam that has, in all likelihood, fooled hundreds of job seekers out of thousands of pounds. Lynn has this special report.
These men and women have all been taken in by one man.
I want to welcome you to HGS. I'm John Phillips.
He oversees a job scam and sophisticated fraud.
You're very well aware of what your employment life will be.
We know it's sucked in hundreds of people who've paid thousands of pounds. These are just a few of them. So I've rarely come across someone whose scam was so realistic and had such a huge impact on his victims. What we're going to do is give you a front row seat on how that scam works. Some highly qualified, some just starting. All were desperate to work in HR and progress their career. They placed their CV on job websites, which can be openly accessed by employers. Later they got contacted by John Phillips, in charge of a large HR company, offering them what they thought was their dream job.
The job was an admin assistant role, which was supposed to be based in London Bridge.
I was going to be paid 24,750.
You know, I couldn't be happier. Family was happy for me, and me personally, I just felt like, oh wow, finally, made it.
To understand the scam, we're going to apply. Our undercover reporter, we call her Jane Smith, prepares a realistic CV and posts it online, on the kind of sites that our victims have used. A few days later, a job description and an email from one company, Premier Employment. We want to thank you for having applied for the role of HR assistant. The role is based in the City of London. And then a call confirming this to a man called John Phillips.
Hello there.
Hi, I'm just calling back about a job.
Okay. I have HR, pays 24,000. That role is 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, 28 days vacation.
We find a website and see it's registered on Companies House. All the job seekers are told to come for a final interview before signing a contract and commencing work. Our reporter's on her way to an office in the heart of the city. But no sign of John at all. We're met by someone else, Tiffany, who tells us how working for Premier Employment comes with huge perks.
Okay, so basically they will put £100 a month into your pension. You should be able to join the private healthcare plan, and also they give you a monthly gym membership.
20.
Next is the crux of how Phillips makes his money.
220, 14, 16.
All were asked by different assistants to pay for accreditation to work at the company. Experts say that's a warning.
Well, in my eyes, it's exploitation of vulnerable job seekers. I mean, nobody should be paying to to start a new job with a genuine employer.
We hand over our accreditation fee, but are told that it will be refunded.
And then you'll get back 200 after 6 months.
And she said I'll have to pay £480.
And you need to bring the cash in order for you to start employment.
You have to pay up front before you start the job.
But what about John?
He's higher than any other management. Normally, John is one of the founders of the law.
So as the meeting with the undercover reporter was taking place inside this building, I was waiting outside. Now, we've heard from other victims that when it comes to actually receiving the money, John is nowhere to be seen. So what I happened to record with my phone while waiting outside is very interesting indeed. I spot John Phillips, seemingly running operations from outside. And if that's in any doubt, look who comes in. Tiffany, whom we've given the money for so-called accreditation. She gives it to John. Initially we thought she might have been part of it, but later we discover that Tiffany herself was being conned with a fake job and is just as much a victim as everyone else.
Next week we need to plan
This lady Lucille, not her real name, was exactly like Tiffany, a senior manager. John persuaded her to pay for premises from her own funds to interview candidates. Her task? To get the accreditation money off them.
1 week I did five payments. I give it. I just finish the interview and go back to John and give him the money back. So cash. 2K, probably more.
And then devastating when the whole thing turned out to be a lie.
I lost confidence.
You lost confidence?
It's hard to trust yourself when you've been through this and just get fooled like that. Well, I just think we need to get him to stop.
We receive a detailed list of instructions to start work. Our job? To find other candidates. We're sent a set of emails and numbers to call. And there are 30 numbers and emails here. And what's clever, so to speak, about this is were we to do our job and invite all of these people for interview, it would mean about £7,000 for Mr. Phillips. He's aware of the cash value of our calls and gets jumpy when we don't make progress.
Yeah, you're not moving fast enough for me.
No, well, I didn't understand what I was supposed to be doing.
I checked your email. You didn't send any emails from the email we gave you. And you're not ready. You're not paying attention to what... Are you reading what the company sent?
Yeah, I am. I read it, but it was just some things were missing.
We investigate Mr. Phillips. He's from St. Lucia originally and uses several aliases. John Phillips, Nathan Phillips too. And when I posed as a client... Can I just check what your name is?
Bill Barnett.
Pardon?
Bill Barnett. Bill.
The firms he's set up have professional-looking websites. We find more than 10, some using fake company directors. And we speak to numerous job seekers who have never been paid, with reports online suggesting this scam has been going on for years, with possibly hundreds of victims.
20.
For these men and women, it wasn't just the money, it was staking everything in a full-time job and all that involved.
I wouldn't say it's exactly depression, but it was a state where I was completely stressed financially, how to cope with life in general.
It's quite embarrassing as well, especially being like at the age that you are. You want to be helping and supporting your family and yourself and being able to do things, but when you come across something like this, it does bring you in a very, it does take you low, very low.
There is no company, there is no office, there is nothing behind. It's just how can you possibly do that? Where is your humanity? There is no humanity lurking. Young people like me just got in this country and scamming them. I mean, you're just stealing from the poorest. It's ridiculous.
John Phillips still thinks we're going to arrange him people to be interviewed. Unusually, he agrees to meet us in person, to push us to do the calls, to get him the candidates.
You placed your CV online, we got it. Are you still looking for work in admin? Yes. Are you currently working? The guy's going to say yes.
All money spinners for him.
We want to find a way to make money if possible. The world is very competitive. For us to pay you, like recycling, we don't throw anything away.
He says goodbye, but now we seize the moment to ask him some questions of our own.
Guy Lynn from the BBC. Just wondered if you could tell me all about the high levels of fraud you've been committing against many people by lying about various jobs.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know what we're talking about? Well, we've been recording you over the last few months, offering people jobs about fictitious companies.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Are you aware that what you're doing is an incredibly serious fraud, Mr. Phillips?
I don't know what you're talking about.
And do you know how many people I've spoken to who've been affected by your fraud, who have lost thousands and thousands of pounds? What do you have to say to them, Mr. Phillips?
I have no answer. I don't know what you're talking about.
I have never seen a more pernicious kind of fraud as that which you're perpetuating.
I don't wish to talk to the BBC.
Oh, I think he's scum. I can't believe he's getting away with it.
I can't imagine how he can sleep at night.
I don't know if he hates people.
He's a horrible human being.
Since our investigation, John Phillips has gone underground, leaving behind a trail of damage for his victims.